Winter will be here before you know it, and that means you can expect higher electric bills unless you take steps now. And Sami Cone has some common sense tips and tricks to cut costs and maximize your energy savings. I always love your tips.
Oh, you're so kind. Well, this can get expensive. I'm seeing this now. And so if we can take some of these and put them into effect before we really need them,
yes,
it's going to help inform you, and you're not going to go out and buy things you don't need at the last minute, which is always when they're really expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're starting down here though with this power strip.
Yep.
Now tell me what do we need that for?
Okay, so the power strip is going to help you save you money two ways. One, it's going to protect some really expensive items like TVs, computers, things like that, because this is going to, especially if there's a storm, you want to have the power strip. But it gives you that single button that you can turn off at the end of the night. And why this is good is that a lot of times we'll plug smaller electronics in here, like maybe even a DVD player or some things that we don't need all the time.
Right.
But they suck what we call phantom power. So by turning this off at the end of the night, it helps save electricity that way.
I know a lot of people who don't bother to turn that off.
I know, it's really important.
Wasting energy.
It is wasting energy, absolutely.
And then this is one of the small appliances.
This is an example of a small appliance. So this is an electric kettle. And so you want to use these as much as possible. So for instance, if I'm making 1 cup of tea, I can use an electric kettle instead of heating up the whole kettle on my stove. Or if I want to just reheat something, I can use a small air fryer instead of using the whole oven, the whole stove. So use those small appliances when you can, because that'll also maximize your energy.
You also have a way we can save on our electric bills.
Yes, absolutely. So I really recommend investing in a smart thermostat, at least an electric thermostat if no other reason, because this is not only going to give you a more accurate representation of the energy you use and the temperature that your rooms are at. They're getting so smart that you can even set temperatures by room. If you forget, let's say you go on vacation, you forget to turn the heat up or down because you're not going to be in there all day, it'll start sensing it for you.
Oh, wow.
So that's one thing to do. Also, change out your light bulbs to some of those smart bulbs. The same thing applies. It even shows you on some of these boxes the energy savings that you'll have in a year. So that's a good way to, not only look at how much you'll save, but you can even get some of these smart bulbs where you can control them when you're not right there at the light switch as well.
I've changed all mine too.
Good for you. Good for you. And they last longer.
And they last
so you're not
so
changing
much
them as
longer.
often.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, why do we have these beautiful
We have the curtains. Yeah. This is not a design segment. That's not me. It's funny. You want to do the opposite that you would normally do. So in the winter or in the summer, sometimes we'll say to close the blinds to keep the heat out. In the winter, you want to open up your curtains because then you're going to let the sun in, therefore giving you that natural heat. So we kind of do the opposite from summer to winter. So
great idea.
Throw those curtains open.
I love that. Also, there's another way that you can use that. There's a delay button that you were going to tell me about.
Yep, absolutely. So with some of our larger appliances that we talked about, we talked about the small ones, but the larger ones like a washing machine, a dishwasher, you can actually use a delay button. So let's say you've eaten dinner, you've loaded the dishwasher, you can delay it to go off maybe 2, 4, even 6 hours later. And what that does is that you want to use your energy when not everyone else is using their energy. So it's almost like, gas goes up on the weekends, energy can go up during the peak times. So if you delay it to be run overnight, then you're going to save money on your energy.
Oh, I love it. We're all out of time.
Oh,
but you've got so much more information.
Yeah.
But I tell you where you can find all the great tips and information that Sami Cone always has for. You can watch the Sami Cone Show.
That's right.
And the newest edition is going to be premiering today at 1 on News Channel 5 Plus with an encore broadcast tomorrow at noon. So many great tips and ideas coming from Sami Cone. Thank you, Sami.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.